Okay, so when I'm making this video, Edge of Fate comes out tomorrow, and this video should be posted before that expansion releases. So I just have some theories about the Year of the Prophecy that I haven't seen any people talk about. If there is any discussion, I'm sorry, I just didn't do my due diligence. This video is like half researched, so it's not it's not going to be concise at all. It's just some theories and predictions I have that maybe people smarter than me will watch this and then talk about it. So let's just get into it. Okay, so starting off, the new Taken Master that was in Season of the Heresy, the one that's telling the Dread and the Takens to do all this stuff, I think it is at the very least related to the Nine, because there's all those tentacles on the ship. And if you're watching the Right of the Nine cutscenes, there were tentacles in the background of those videos. Now, they don't look like the same kind of tentacles, but there seems to be a lot of tentacle stuff when it comes to the Nine. Again, the Dreadnought, the cutscenes, Xur's face. Okay, so bouncing off of that, in what way do I think the Taken Master is related to the Nine? I think it is the Nine member attached to Mercury. Mercury is the only planet in our solar system that has not been given back, and the Witness is dead. So unless we get like Savathun, or we just find out how to like move things between worlds ourselves, we are not going to get Mercury back. And since the Ascendant Plane is where the Witness took these planets, Mercury has just been sitting in the Ascendant Plane ever since Season of the Arrivals. Now, in the lore cards, it says that essentially the Taken wanted a master so bad that they just manifested one. Like they just believed in it so hard that it just became real. And if that's the case, imagine that happening to a Nine member. Imagine a Nine member sitting in the Ascendant Plane, and then it just all of a sudden feels the wants of the Taken, because we know the Nine can control the Taken somehow, and they're like, oh, we want a new master, we'll do anything, we'll like give it a body. And then Mercury's like, oh, you'll give me a body? Okay, I'll handle things for you guys. And then boom, it just manifests in the Sea of Screams. And then he's like, okay, well, I mean, I'm not Mr. Mercury anymore. Let me just call myself the Lord of All Nothing. All right, so now let's move on to the actual expansion itself. More specifically, the Fallen House of Exiles on Kepler. From what we already got, the Ionians, I think that's what the human race on Kepler are called, they tried to help the Elixini make ether or replace it for ether. I forgot what specifically they said, but they tried to help. They couldn't help, and then the Fallen House of Exiles was like, okay, fine, we'll go do our own thing. Now, bear with me here. Imagine being a Nine member and seeing somebody that was part of your group get a physical form, or maybe like a half physical or like a leading form, whatever. Get a physical form because a group just believed in you hard enough and the conditions were right. Imagine seeing that and thinking, oh, well, why don't I just try that? Because to be quite frank, the Elixini are the easiest race to get on your side. You just have to act like a god to them, and or just give them like a way to like breathe their air, and then they'll be like, okay, we'll like follow you to the ends of the earth. Freaking like the House of Salvation, the House of Light, even they just went back to the Traveler. They're like they know, just like, oh, just like give them a god. Oh yeah, Siva too, Siva. Like give them a god or make them think they can be gods, and then that's it. Like we already got them. So the Fallen House of Exiles are trying to help this thing called the Giver, their new god called the Giver. Imagine being a Nine member being like, hey guys, I'm a god around here, I'm the Giver. There's this thing called dark matter around here. You can see it because of the stuff on the planet. I'll give you some stuff. You just gotta like bring enough dark matter and maybe build like a monument or like some statues or something. And yeah, we'll be good. Like, I'll help you, you know? Yeah. It's like I feel bad for the Elixni. They get used so much. Oh, I forgot to talk about this earlier. If my theory is right about the Undyne member being the new Taken Master, the Lord of All Nothing, the Mr. Mercury turning from Mercury to Lord of All Nothing, then what exactly was its plan like during episode Heresy? I think essentially it was just trying to use the aversion anchors to get enough of the ascendant plane into reality. Because the whole thing about the Dreadnought is that it's essentially a throne world that just exists in the solar system. It's like a pocket, right? Like, throne worlds are already pockets, but they're just pockets in the ascendant plane. The Dreadnought is different because it's a pocket in like our actual reality. So it was probably trying to get enough of reality into the ascendant plane so that it has enough room to then manifest back into our solar system and then do whatever it wants after that. Alright, I'm not going to be talking about Lodi or the singularity on Kepler or basically anything else due to the Edge of Fate because I genuinely have no idea. I mean, I feel like most of that stuff is just going to get explained in the story. I'm just like mainly focused on 9 stuff. But moving on, let's talk about Renegades. And I'm not really going to talk about the 9 at all in the Renegades talk, so bear with me. Okay, so starting off, I think Renegades takes place on Mars. They said that we're not really going to be leaving the solar system in the next saga because the 9 are like related to the solar system because they're all each attached to a planet. So if that's the case, I think Renegades takes place on Mars because at the end of the trailer, the Guardians were riding sparrows through an orange desert. It looks like Tatooine. It's a Star Wars expansion. It would just make sense if it takes place on Mars. All right. Now, for the enemy types, they already showed that there's gonna be Cabal, right? Because Cabal can look like stormtroopers. The ship they were on, those were Cabal doors. So, for some reason, there is a Cabal type faction that comes up and is on Mars. I don't really remember if we just took care of every Cabal on Mars. But yeah, there's still some Cabal that we're not allies of that aren't like Callus's Shadow Legion or something. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that there's gonna be another Dredgen popping up. I know they have to be related to the Drifter somehow, but I can't really think of like a way the Drifter comes in. Like, it's probably not going to be apparent until we get the trailer, right? So why I think there's a Dredgen? I think this expansion is essentially going to set up Sith Lords, right? Because we almost had them before. They were the warlords of the Dark Age, right? Now, in Star Wars, the main thing that separates a Jedi from a Sith is essentially how they use the Force, like their morality, right? If they're good guys, they force pull, push. I don't really know what other light side of the Force specific powers they have, or Force heal. I think Force heal is a light side specific power, and then Siths get like the lightning hands. That's the most I can really think of. But what in the Destiny universe can be used as the Force and as a thing that separates what makes somebody good and what makes somebody evil? It's probably going to be dark matter. Dark matter, the thing being used in Edge of Fate, is probably going to be the new Force that everyone is looking for, everyone's trying to use. I think they said that dark matter is everywhere and in all of us, which is like the Force. So, what this has to do with the Dredgen, I think Dredgens will be Sith Lords, and they're not going to make weapons of sorrow. They're going to make, like, dark matter weapons of sorrow. Like, if dark matter interacts with lights in way, in the way to where we're starting to do shit we were never able to do before, imagine dark matter interacting with hive magic. That would spawn some crazy stuff. Also, I didn't say this earlier, but the Metamorph ability in Edge of Fate already kind of looks like the Force, like you're like throwing, like you're moving objects from one spot to another. All right, that's about most of what I wanted to say. There's still one more thing. If my theory about the Lord of All Nothing and the Giver are correct, and they're just 9 members, I think the Alchemists, what the fourth expansion is named after, I think that's just another 9 member. Like if each 9 member is going to be given a title starting with the, then the Alchemist would also be a 9 member. Thank you for sitting through this whole video if you actually watched it. And I really should have said this at the start, but if there's anything that completely debunks my theories or has already proven my predictions, then please let me know in the comments and I will update the description and or leave a pinned comment. I don't know. This is like one of the first videos I'm making where it's like actually have like edited. So please let me know. This is a discussion video. I'm not trying to like prove anything. Thank you for sitting through this. Leave a subscribe on my channel. I might be making more stuff in the future. I really don't know. I guess it just depends on how good this video does, which isn't probably a good thing to do because this is a first video, so I don't know how well in the algorithm it's gonna do. But I should end this video. I don't know why I'm still talking. Okay, bye.